feel like there's a little bit of a, that's okay. You know what? This is your weekly astrology forecast from Born Without Boundaries for the week of July 11th to the 17th. And I've named the video Butterfly Birth or your Rebirth Day because symbolically that's what it has the effect of. We're in Cancer season, and Cancer season is the fourth house ruler, the ruler of basically the mother energy, which is that masterful energy of creation that brings something brand new into the world. Now, generally speaking, this energy can definitely be applied to all different kinds of things and inspiration that you're starting to bring into the world, or becoming inspired to create new things to bring into the world. But beyond that, really it's your rebirth day. It's a time, especially following the July 9th new moon, which was a portal. Think of it as like the birth canal. That's the way I talked about it in a lot of my daily tarot card readings and my weekly zodiac readings over on Born Without Boundaries. Essentially, it's the time when you're born. Think of the caterpillar. The caterpillar is born from its mother, its parent, in an egg, and it emerges from the egg. But this isn't the egg that you're emerging from. This isn't the womb that you're emerging from. This is the birth canal of the cocoon. And the cocoon is something that you spun yourself. And it's a painful process inside that cocoon. The process is degradation. It's breaking down. The caterpillar itself has to break down chemically in order to reform into something that is its higher self, its higher form of being. And there's been a lot of pain and a lot of hardship. And eclipse season brought up a lot of cracks and breaks and steam from the depths. Because that's how creation happens. Destruction happens first. Room has to be made. Space has to be cleared. And especially during a Mercury retrograde, so much of that had to do with issues, dynamics, things that we had to face, lessons that we'd skipped and thought we could get away with. And that's just not the case. That's never the case. In terms of the universe, you can't skip a lesson. I want to say thank you to everybody who's joined. Thank you so much. Welcome. This is the first weekly forecast that I've done live. I'll think of doing more of them live, but right now I'm doing it live because of travel. I didn't get a chance to record yesterday like I usually do. But yeah, this is another opportunity for me to be on live with you guys over on Astrology Motivation, because I go live now for my weekly Astrology Motivation video. It's no longer recorded. I go live on Mondays. So welcome. Thank you for joining me. Anyway, and we go through lots of these cycles in our lives. So how is this different? This is different because society, the crowd, is going to come along with you this time. It's not just the rebirth day of you. It's the rebirth day of how people see you. It's the point where you and all that you've done finally gets a chance to outweigh all that's come before you and things that you couldn't choose. So even though in the dynamic of your life, you've been processing, putting yourself together, really dehypnotizing or deprogramming yourself when it came to believing the script that you'd been given at birth. That's the 411. I just saw 411 on the clock. Abandoning the script that you've been giving at birth and composing your new script. And that's exceptional spiritual work, because you have to establish who you are before you tell anybody else who you are, right? But it doesn't mean that they agree, right? It doesn't mean that overall they've allowed you, we'll say, for lack of me being able to think of a better word, they've allowed you to be that person that you've now decided you are. Well, that's all changing, because momentum is something that you create. And if you listen at all to the law of attraction, the energy you put out comes back to you, right? The energy and what you focus on becomes your reality. But you have to, because we're in a 3D world and energy moves slower in the three-dimensional world, you have to continuously create this current before the current actually becomes the dominant current. And right now is what I'm saying is, this is the breakthrough time when the current of what you've created becomes dominant, beyond the current that was created for you, which means that other people are now understanding and agreeing with the version of you that you created, as opposed to what they had casually accepted as true, just like once upon a time you did. And that's why this work that you've done preemptively, we'll call it the work in the cocoon, 555. I've been seeing that a lot. Hi, Darcy. Thank you so much for that belated birthday wish. And happy Saturday to you too. I'm so happy that you could be up with me at this time. I know it's early I'm on the East Coast now visiting my mother and my friends. But I know it's really early on the West Coast. I don't know where you are on the globe, but thank you for being here. How can I say it? I'm gonna read to you what I wrote. Definitely. Oh, you're in New York. Okay. Well, that's a little bit easier, right? 10 o'clock's a little bit easier than 7 o'clock. So, but thank you for being here. That's awesome. 10:10. Good morning. Hey, Christy Hodges. Thank you for showing up to this now conversation, a weekly astrology forecast. So I liken it to sort of like the reunion, like not the 5-year reunion, not the 10-year reunion. Hi, Wendy. Well, welcome. Thank you so much. I liken it to the high school reunion, like the 30-year high school reunion, right? Where people don't see you anymore as that kid that they used to be able to bully, or the princess that they used to have to look up to, or those roles that you get stuck in your early life based on what's convenient for everybody else. And because you're young, you haven't had enough time to sort of determine who you are yourself, right? Well, this is the rebirth day of not only you, because you've been going through. Hey here, Hierophant, how you doing? You not only have you been going through this transition in yourself, which took a lot of convincing of yourself too. It took a lot of faith, and took a lot of tears to be like, well, should I really even continue to do this, because nobody's agreeing with me, and as hard as I try, I can't get anywhere, and I'm not going anywhere no matter how hard I try. But you kept trying, and that's the key, because the universe isn't thinking about what everybody else is thinking. The universe is seeing where you're putting your focus. And the thing is, even when you were down, and even when you were crying, and even when you were like, you felt like there was nothing but walls around you, somehow you found a way to keep going. And that's what the universe responds to. The universe responds to vibrations, and vibrations come from where you put your focus. And it was because you continued to put your focus in a specific direction that this is what you started to become. And now it's like you were stuck between those walls, and all those tears were building up, and now those tears have finally brought you outside those walls, and now you're liberated. You can think of it as earning, you can think of it as faith, whatever you think of it as. This is that turning point, that basically rebirth canal that happened on the new moon in Cancer, put you over the edge of the blocks that this world had created for you. And now you're just in the world that, oh my God, you created yourself, so that you will start to see people treating you differently. You will start to see people treating you with the dignity that you determined by continuing to push. That's the REBirthDay cycle. And it's not only going to start with your immediate friends and family. It's going to continue do with your community and the way that people react to you. It is also going to ask you this week, reassert yourself. But because you've worked so hard and done everything you have, to continue to work on yourself, you're not going to be backing down the way that you used to, in ways that you used to. Like, you wanted it so bad, but as soon as somebody said no, you'd agree with them. It's almost like you take their side over your side. Well, you're not going to do that anymore. And you're going to have such faith and conviction in who you are that you're not going to allow people to treat you like you aren't anymore. And that's how this ego that you've created will now become dominant. On the new moon, the moon and the sun were so close together, they were right on top of each other, and they were only 1 degree apart. And that 1 degree was won by the sun. And what that means is this ego, this new ego, your heart's purpose, dominated and was able to burn off all that old shit, all that history, all that sadness, all that you thought you were, other people thought you were, all the crap you've been holding on to. It was able to burn it off. And that's what's kind of like setting the mood for, I tell 1111, I tell them who I am. They don't get to tell me. And that doesn't mean you walk into the room like, listen, motherfucker, you. That's not what it is. Because that's really not having confidence, is it? No, that's conflict. Conflict comes from fear. This is walking into the room and saying, sir, I understand that you think this of me based on my past, but let me help you see my past in a different way. And let me explain to you that this is what this really means. And this is what this really means. Because that's why I'm here in front of you right now. In other words, the confidence is so complete and pure in you that you're happy to spread joy and kindness and confidence that you have knowing yourself with those who may not originally or initially have confidence or faith in you. And this will go for definitely career, and this will go for definitely romantic relationships. So it could be, and toward the end of the week, you start to see this process of making amends, being at a point where you can finally go back to that high school reunion and not feel like you're going to get sucked into the vortex of your past, but be able to face your past knowing that it has no power over you anymore. Think of that last scene in Labyrinth. You have no power over me anymore. You have no power over me. That Goblin King has no power over you anymore, and that's why you're ready to confront him. That's this period. And you'll start to see a lot of the heavy being lightened up. A big transition came over this past weekend or on Sunday when Saturn stopped tethering Venus and Mars. Venus and Mars have been traveling through Leo, almost like right on top of each other, which is that divine feminine, divine masculine energy. I love that movie too. The divine feminine, divine masculine energy traveling through the sky in Leo, where they're both very confident and they know what they want, but Saturn has been tethering them, saying, but do you deserve it? But do you deserve it? But do you deserve it? And cosmically, karmically, the reason that happens is to strengthen you, because you can see their position to Saturn's position to Chiron, right? It's almost like what they're really trying to do is make you realize that, yes, I am balanced, and yes, I do deserve it. And they're not going to let you go until you say, of course I deserve it. I know I deserve it. Yes, I deserve it. And that's actually with lack of resistance. That's why I say you're not bringing the conflict, right? Your humble confrontation was last week, right? And you're bringing that into this week with, I want to hear your piece. I want to hear your point of view. I want to understand what you think you know about me. And then I want to take you through step by step the truth and what my truth is. And that's how you know that you're ready, because it's like you're not yelling, you're not a kid yelling and screaming back at the parents, because Papa Saturn, he's the father energy, right? When you are old enough to actually look your father in the eye and dignify all the lessons that he taught you by asserting your complete, whole, and strengthened self, that's when the Papa energy releases you, lets you go, and now you can be completely what you've created. So let's get into the reading, okay? And of course, there's mantras and day by day, play by play, just like there always is. So once again, this is the weekly astrology forecast, July 11th through the 17th, your butterfly birth or your rebirth day. Awaken from your cocoon. The stress of the past 2 months of changes, challenges, and setbacks finally breaks, and you'll feel the freedom. This week is your rebirth day, when you're finally over what you were. You're finally over the you that you were, and everybody else is too. All those things people used to think of you, and all those things, and people who don't have any place in your life, they've been forgotten. Like really forgotten, but not just forgotten, forgiven. Really let go. You'll start to see this week that you're not even thinking of people that you used to think of all the time, because you just used to think your life would be nothing without them. They're sort of just gone because you've forgiven. You're totally untethered. The butterfly doesn't remember what the caterpillar was because it doesn't need to. The past is over. Like a caterpillar in a cocoon, you've broken down and reformed yourself from the bits and pieces. Your will has created the new you. Venus and Mars are finally liberated from the restrictions of Saturn, doing his due diligence to make damn sure they were ready before he cut them loose. Hi, Sarah. Nice to see you on here. That could be metaphoric or literal because of all this happening in Cancer, the house of your first home or your beginnings. After this week, things that used to matter to you so much that you thought you'd never let go of are over with, and you're glad about it. This is the summer of your adulthood, not your youth. And it's interesting because we always think of summer as young and as fresh. And it's young and fresh because it's new, but it's so much stronger because it's the adult you. This is the summer of you dawning as an adult. Adult, metaphorically and spiritually. For those of you who have seen little progress from major effort, the breakthroughs will happen now. Your willingness to accept your beauty because of your imperfections has other people seeing you in a whole new light. Because it doesn't mean that your imperfections are just washed away, right? It doesn't mean you have no more work to do on yourself. The butterfly still has to learn how to fly, right? Trust its wings. But what it means is that you're not afraid, or you're not defensive of those aspects and dynamics of yourself. And you're willing to have an open, honest conversation about it. And that's what makes you an adult, instead of a kid who's going to resist and fight and tell you, but you're the one that's wrong, but you're the one who's wrong. This is what you have to change for me. The mentality of you have to change for me is very childish. It's very childish because children are used to everything being done for them. And now as an adult, you realize, oh, the world isn't bad because I have to do something for myself or because I have to tell you who I am. You don't have to move over for me. I can join you side by side, or I can outrun you. But it's through me being me that I am now ready to basically redefine how you see me. Sunday, July 11th is here. Major breakthroughs are here because Mars and Venus are finally free of Saturn's fatherly restrictions. Mercury is out of Gemini and goes into Cancer, which is not the strongest position for Mercury, but it is actually very emotively strong, right? But it's new energy away from that Mercury retrograde energy. And let me say this about Mercury and Cancer. It's actually extremely what most people would call manipulative, and I would agree. Mercury in retrograde talks through psyche and emotions. Mercury in retrograde is powerful because suddenly this psyche of Cancer, this psychic ability of Cancer takes over Mercury and Mercury's network. And basically what you're able to do, Mercury and network, Mercury communicates to people's emotions during Mercury and Cancer. You're communicating now to people's emotions, to people's sensibilities, not just their sensitivities, to people's heart. You're able to see into it, and know what to say, not to manipulate it, but to talk from your heart to your heart. So we'll be having much more comfort with heart-to-heart conversations, talking about emotions, talking about feelings, and being able to relate empathetically to other people's feelings. Remember, Cancer energy is the most empathetic sign because it is the sign of the mother, and mothers need to be empathy in order to do their job, right? In order to be a mother and birth something new, you must, and that's male or female, doesn't matter, you must have empathy because they can't talk, it can't speak, you must have empathy, right? So, and compassion. So when Mercury goes into Cancer, it becomes much more empathetic, and it becomes, so in other words, now other people won't be backing down so much from your feelings, and you'll be able to, especially if you're a water sign, really feel what they're feeling and be able to make mercurial decisions based on what you know, so that you can strategize and, yes, manipulate. I love how they say manipulate with emotions. It's more communicating to their heart, and you'll know what's in their heart very easily. And that's what Mercury in Cancer gives to us. It is an uncomfortable energy for a lot of people, but especially if it's your mercurial return or you're a water sign and trust your psychic abilities, you'll see how very much cued in you are now in times when, like, understanding things now that you never understood before. The moon has moved into Leo on Sunday, along with Venus and Mars. This is a very emotional, passionate time, and there is nothing stopping the loveliness. Romance can be very free here. And with the moon in Leo, with Mars and Venus so close to one another, we will all desire attention and know what we want. We'll be adoring and passionate about the ones that we love. Moon in Leo energy can be difficult because it's so demanding. Attention is necessary for its self-awareness. So get ready to want to step out and show yourself off. Preening is expected. Saturn's opposition to the moon may be making us hold back what we want for reasons of ego, demanding we be noticed before revealing we want someone to notice us. This is the last bits of the immaturity that we'll have to burn off before the middle of the week, when Mars is free of Uranus square and we can all rest a bit easier. If you'll know, I've been talking about this Mars and Uranus square for a while. It can be very dangerous. It can be very physically dangerous and cause a lot of accidents, lots of impulsivity, demanding change even where we're not ready for change. And we are basically being able to clear this square by the middle of the week, which is also a big relief on a lot of us. Because of the trine between the Sun and Neptune and Jupiter, the Moon, Neptune and Jupiter, and the Moon, respectively. This is a great, let me go back because I'm reading this wrong. Because of the trines between the Sun and Neptune, so there's a trine between the Sun and Neptune, and the trines between Jupiter and the Moon, this is a great day to appeal to somebody's sensitivities or sensibilities, to reveal your emotions and be respected for it, and to clearly negotiate a deal or contract using your intense psychic intuition to connect with somebody's sensibilities. It's a lucky time. Pluto is intensifying the sun's urge to fulfill its desires, so you may not have a choice. Follow where your heart is guiding you today and be honest about your needs and your emotions. Mantra for Sunday: I am truth. This is where and who I am. I am understood. I am valued. I am luck. I am abundance. We move on to Monday, July 12th. Mars and Venus in Leo are at the same degree, total equals, but there could be some interference from Mercury in Cancer, making communication difficult because of distance or passive-aggressive tendencies. One of you has to make the move. Mars wants change, and he wants it now. He wants something different because of its square to Uranus. The moon and sun are both being aided by Neptune now, so that we're more creative and sensitive than usual. Once again, people are more sensitive and receptive to emotional conversations because Mercury is in Cancer. Appeal to someone's emotional side. With Mercury, in other words, if you're going to take that aggressive step and use your Mars, then what you would do is text them, hey, it's really hurt me that I haven't heard from you in a while. And that may sound passive aggressive and whiny. Welcome to Mercury in Cancer. That's what's going to work, because people will understand emotions now. Or, hey, how about this? Go positive. Hey, I've actually been thinking about you a lot, and I've missed you. What have you been up to? It's those kind of questions, phrasing questions. Hey, Jackie, phrasing questions like that are really going to get positive responses that you want now. FYI. A lot of things from the past are coming full circle now, to see how much we've learned from the past. Doorways are opening for you, but it may be in unexpected places. That's the real test. Are you ready to invest in those that want to invest in you, or will you stay stuck in your stubbornness? The thing is, when spirit intervenes, it's so much better than what you originally imagined. So the mantra for Monday, July 12th is, I will go where you lead me. I am open. I am free. I am forgiven. Yes, I welcome the opportunities you bring. And let's remember this. Life is a flow, right? So lots of times the opportunity you want is a couple of opportunities down the road. But if you didn't take the opportunities that were offered to you, then you wouldn't get to the ones down the road. So be very, very open to understanding how things are connected spiritually. And you'll be able to feel that in your psyche as well. Tuesday, so that you can say, oh, no, this is totally off my path. Oh, but this isn't really off my path, is it? This is just a stepping stone on my path. You'll be able to see the difference between those two things very clearly, because your psyche doesn't know time and understands, oh, this is where I want to go, right? And your brain won't get in the way this time around. So you'll clearly be able to see, no, this is totally off. This is definitely not my path. Oh, but this is my path, because I know psychically, I understand now. I feel that that's just up the road. I just have to step here first. You see the difference? So Tuesday, July 13th comes around, and the moon is square the nodes now. And the moon is in Virgo, and it's square the nodes, and it's great time for the moon to be in Virgo when it squares the nodes, because when the moon squares the nodes, it's almost like a check-in point. How are we in relationship to our journey through this life? Because that's the node journey, where you start, right? Where have you started, and where are you going? And so that's when the moon squares. When the moon squares the nodes, we will start to. That's when we check in, and hold on. That's when we really check in with where we are on our path and on our journey. Also being able to now connect to that path. Okay, I'm on my right path. All of those things that I just talked about. So the moon in Virgo. So it's a cosmic check-in point. How far have we come, and how far is there still to go? Are we following our true north? Because that's our north node energy. Well, the moon in Virgo is a perfect place for this check-in. Virgo energy is exceptional at taking stock and placing our energy where it is most useful. Be ready to make sense of your emotions today. All the emotions you'll be feeling today. This is an emotional day because the moon is opposite Jupiter, right? It's a very emotional day. Will be guiding you toward progress and development. Uranus is trine to the moon, making us feel the need for change, to want to change, to be emotionally prepared to change. And that's the significance. We refuse the past. Pluto opposition to the sun makes sure that all of this pushing is to move forward to, oh my God, please stop texting me. I'm sorry, I didn't turn on the do not disturb, and that's the problem. I should have. To assess our best selves. I'm not talking to you guys. You guys can chat all you want. That's what this is for. I'm talking about the outside stuff. I'm sorry. To assert our best selves. Let's go back. Pluto opposition to the sun makes sure that all of this pushing is to move us forward to assert our best selves. We'll be extremely spiritual now due to the trine between Mercury and Jupiter, which is in retrograde, who is deep in thought about our best lives and knows how to ask the questions or make the decisions to get the answers we want and need. Because of the opposition between the moon in Virgo and Jupiter in Pisces, we might have a conflict of faith for just a moment. But listen to this. If you guys are in any way familiar, not with the Christian tale of doubting Thomas or Saint Thomas. Thomas was an apostle. And I'm not trying to get you to be Christian. I'm not Christian, but I was raised Christian, so I know the stories. Like I said, faith, it incorporates all religions. So spirituality incorporates all wisdoms that we can take from all different faiths. So the story of doubting Thomas is when after Jesus had resurrected, and that was such an unbelievable thing, logically he couldn't understand or believe that's not possible, right? So he was the one that stepped out and said, prove to me that you're the Jesus that we know. Prove to me that you've been through all that you say, that you are this butterfly, that you are this person that we're supposed to know. And the story goes that Jesus put his hands forward and let Thomas feel and put his hands in the wounds that were from the nails that had been driven through on the crucifixion. And Thomas felt the wounds and could feel the pain and all of those things. And you would think that that's a horrible thing to do, but actually Spirit or Christ welcomed the questions, welcomed the doubts, because he knew he was strong enough to face the doubts now. And Thomas's questions, asking those questions, actually helped Jesus to basically preemptively answer other people's questions, right? It's like everybody had been wanting to ask it, but Thomas was the one that can have the nerve to do it. And because of that, Jesus was able to field everybody else's questions and prove what everybody else wanted him to prove too. And so that is almost like, this is an opportunity. It's about seeing people's doubt of you, not as a conflict, but as an opportunity. Oh, they're doubting me. Oh, okay. How are you doubting me? Tell me how you're doubting me. And then let me show you why I am stronger than you believe. Let me show you why all the conflict I've been through actually makes me special. That's this moment. Tuesday, right? Where we want some proof of what we've believed or been investing our lives in, but just like Thomas, these doubts will lead to a deeper respect and love of what we do and why we choose it and how people see our commitment to that passion. And if they come up in, it's not conflict, remember, their doubts of you or toward you are just opportunities for you to feel doubts in the future. So once you answer these questions, nobody's going to doubt you anymore, because you've answered them so well based on your experience and how deeply you understand what you've been through and what it's made you into. Okay? So all these questions will arise today, and people will ask them to you, but be honest. Show integrity. Integrity is the name of the game. Integrity is the secret weapon this week. Show your integrity. Don't try to skate around them. Take them through the journey with you, so they see step by step. Remember, just because you're in tune with your stepping stones doesn't mean that they see. So take them step by step along the process with you of how you became what you've become. Okay? Don't pull any punches. Your integrity will make you shine today. Integrity, integrity, integrity. The mantra for Tuesday, I am integrity. I define my flow. By making sense of my fears, I face them. My courage is recognized. Wednesday, July 14th rolls around. A new foundation is formed with perfect harmony between Venus and Mars. Our masculine and feminine energies, which we all have inside of us, are working in sync with one another. We are creating and constructing this beautiful new foundation of our lives, founded in spiritual harmony and integrity. Understand that it is the divine feminine and the divine masculine energy that actually creates new life. It is not just the divine feminine. Everybody says that and they're wrong. You need the sperm to fertilize the egg. Think about that metaphorically. So it's really when the masculine and feminine energy are working in balance and harmony that new life is actually created, right? So we are creating and constructing this beautiful new foundation of our lives, founded in spiritual harmony and integrity. This could be when you sign contracts to officialize your new path, your new home, your new relationship, etc. These contracts created today will signal a beautiful start to a reliable, abundant future. Long-term success will come from these arrangements that are made today. We are emotionally ready for what we are committing ourselves to today. I'm just going to take this word out because it doesn't make any sense. I'm editing as I go, and feel secure in our ability to sustain any commitments we make now. And this is coming from other people too. So this is a really reliable day for contracts and making promises. Starting my zoo. Okay, that's a really good time to start. Okay, around Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's the equal inspiration that both sides are providing for each other that makes the difference. There is a solid commonality of faith here. You found who you align with, and they have found you, right? That's so beautiful. It's not just in choosing somebody, it's choosing the right somebodies. Mantra, I see you. My soul sees your soul, and I open myself for you to see. We know each other's truth and combine in harmony. So this is a really connective day. Let me just edit. It's a really connective day. It's a beautiful, actually very magical day when when the magic of connectivity happens. And it's basically so much more powerful than you're just able to make yourself, right? Because it's utilizing so much more than yourself. It's utilizing and trusting other people's energies as well. July 15th comes around, and that's Thursday, July 15th. There are integral changes happening beneath the surface within society and ourselves. As above, thank you. As above, so below. The veil of Neptune is pulled back because Neptune is in retrograde. And any person who has been hidden from you or from society will be revealed. This is a very key day. The hidden ones are the sleepers. Those that spirit, listen to this, those that spirit has kept safe, has held back, and has really been keeping safe. Spirit's been holding you back until everybody else is ready. So those aspects or dynamics of you or total people in general that spirit has been holding back, now it's releasing. It's safe now, right? Those that spirit has kept safe, the sleepers, until the world was ready for them. These are the hard-pressed and the special, the ones that hardship has somehow made more beautiful. The diamonds among us. These people emerge now in a society that is willing to see them. Understand that your oddities make you beautiful. Belief in the shine of your heart will be a beacon in the night sky. We've done a great job in society putting lipstick on pigs while throwing mud at angels. But pigs can't shine, no matter how much glitter you put on them. Likewise, the shine of a heart can break through any amount of mud you've tried to plaster over it. This is atomic. The gilded mediocre get checked and the brilliant shine through. Almost like the Count of Monte Cristo, if you've ever read the book. But are you one of them? Well, it's broader than that. It's the parts of you that you've dimmed to fit in that will make you shine today. Those natural gifts you've put away that are the gifts that people will be drawn to. It's like the air has cleared and it's just easier to breathe when you come out of whatever closet you've locked yourself into. The moon is in Libra, so we're in the mood to be diplomatic and connect with others. We'll look to make things work with others. We'll look to make things work within ourselves. Here is the time when we are balancing out those things about other people and ourselves that we tend to dislike, because we are so certain that all of us is beautiful now. We don't have to hide those things that we have held dormant. And so shine out completely. It is those odd things, it is those oddballs, it is those redheaded stepchildren that you locked in the closet that are the things that people really want to see today. They're the things that people really will love today. And that's how you'll know you're really loved, because you're really being real and revealing those aspects of you. It's also going to be, in terms of society, those people that have been held back because all these other fake asses we're getting attention and we're getting credit. It's like that's the crumbling of that, right? This is when the underdog really wins. The mantra for Thursday: as my cocoon breaks open, I am healed from my past and prepared for the world that I created. So you weren't just creating yourself, you were creating a whole new world. Because remember, the butterfly experiences the world completely differently than the caterpillar. I am awake. I am strong. Friday, July 16th comes around. Are you ready to love with your whole heart? Because today is a day. There's a deepening in connections today. Ones that could be opening for you, or ones that you're currently committed to. There was an immaturity to your concept of love, because perhaps selfish through, though you wouldn't have known it. Maybe you called it passionate. Maybe you called it caring. Whatever it was, if it wasn't working for you, you'll start to understand why. Because love is connection. It's not validation, fascination, lust, or anything else. Compassion and unconditional connection are staples of love. And there is a beautiful deepening in your ability to love purely today. This day could lead you to a beautiful connection with someone. You may also be more inclined to step out of your comfort zone, driven by the memory of how you messed up in the past and not wanting to repeat it. This entire week has been about leaving the past behind, letting it go, and it being no more. The moon is in Libra opposite Chiron, so we're confronting our relationship fuck-ups. But Chiron isn't an enforcer or a punisher. He's a teacher, okay? He makes things harder for us to teach us not only, he will shove us down. He shoves us down to teach us not only how to get back up, though that is a part of it, but why it's important to get back up, and how being pushed down can lead you to loving yourself even more. Ultimately, we fall in love with somebody's entirety, including their imperfections. Dare we allow someone to fall in love with ours? That's a good question, right? And this is the day we would dare. Mantra for Friday: I am love. I am light. I see your humanity and allow you to see mine. In truth, there is connection. Through truth, there is connection. Saturday, July 17th comes around. The moon is in Scorpio now. The moon moves into Scorpio, and that's its fall position. The world has changed, and it's still beautiful, but the romance has deepened with the sensual shadows of a Caravaggio painting. What are we remembering? What letters should we write about those people or to those people that we've long walked away from? But today it's essential to review our behavior in the past and be brave enough to confront it. It doesn't have to be anything grand, just accountability for any unfinished issues, which could be just praying out loud, praying for forgiveness, admitting you were wrong. It doesn't have to be anything grand, just accountability for, I read that. This is a brave time when we see our lovers as humans and in a way that makes them all the more desirable. Think of sitting at a candlelit desk, penning a note to the person you've ghosted or never got to say goodbye to. This is the time to let out, to close out those ends and finish out those loose ends. To finish for finishing's sake, not for the sake of getting somebody back or winning something over, but to finish for finishing's sake. And this all has to do with our confidence in ourselves now, right? It all has to do with how we feel about ourselves now. Because it's not about, remember, we don't need the validation. We just need to let our love out. It matters. It's in matters of the heart specifically today. Right? Matters of the heart, things that we love. With Venus and Mars conducting the symphony that you're masterfully composing, we're free to be honest about our love, our interests, and our mistakes. This is a wonderful time for falling in love. This whole week is. This is a perfect day for expressing yourself clearly and fearlessly. All of this energy is about learning our place and our importance amongst others. Today, it's those intimate connections that are understood. With a rational twist to emotional issues, we could what about anything? I don't understand that. This isn't the perfect setup, guys. At one point, at one point, were we loving without the loving being deserved? That's a good question. Let me ask it again. At one point, were we loving without that loving being deserved? So were you loving somebody that didn't deserve your love? Today is the day we improve upon ourselves by allowing the teachings of others through honest heart-to-heart conversations. In short, today is a really good day to say something nice to somebody, especially someone you've had harsh words with in the past. If you've hurt someone, make amends today. You might have to in order to move forward. And so, the mantra today, I hear you. Thank you for the lessons you've allowed me to know. I am better for it. You are valued. I am value. So, we have made it to the end of next week. And I want to say thank you so much, everybody, for being on with me today, for hanging with me. I will definitely list all the mantras below like I always do. If you really love this video, like it, share it on your community pages on YouTube, share it on your other social media platforms. Also, subscribe to Astrology Motivation, subscribe to Born Without Boundaries. Born Without Boundaries Tarot, I've already done all the readings. They're phenomenal. And these are zodiac sign specific readings for these energies. So they're really explosive and the readings are exceptional. So please do check out bornwithoutboundariestarot.com and subscribe over there too. I'm going to start off top of the week with Tuesday, Scorpio Tarot, Libra Tarot, Sagittarius Tarot, and all the rest will follow suit. Cancer's reading this week was actually the bomb. It came out on Friday. I hope you guys got over there to see that. And if you love these daily interactions, then please come join me on Instagram. You can find me at born_without_boundaries. And the wonderful aspect of that is that you can interact with me live, because I do live daily tarot card readings. That's where they're live, is over on Instagram. So you can catch me live over there. Thank you so much, guys, for this time, and I will talk to you throughout the week. I'll see you in the videos. Just know that this week some of the lives may not happen because I'm on vacation for the next 2.5 weeks, but generally speaking, I'll be checking in with you guys on a regular basis. I love you. Talk to you soon.